It was March 2019 and we were in Cairo. The air was already hot and dusty beyond human observation in the papyrus hall of the Egyptian National Museum of Civilization, the old building. A Turkish-Mexican family was strolling. Mother Elena, a history professor in Guadalajara, father a short distance away taking photos, and their 4-year-old son Mateo in his own dream world. Mateo is a child with autism. He normally never speaks to strangers or makes eye contact, but he is madly in love with ancient writings and symbols. His mother always said, smiling, "The things he draws are like hieroglyphs." That day they were standing in front of a papyrus that had just gone on display. The papyrus had been behind glass for only 2 weeks. It was found near Nag Hammadi, circa 380 AD, and contains strange, undecipherable Aramaic Coptic symbols. Experts had been at a loss for 6 months. Mateo suddenly ran up and pressed himself against the glass. He pressed his small palm against it, muttering something to himself. The security guard says, "Please stay away." At that moment Mateo turns and asks in crystal clear Spanish, "Mom, can I read this? It's about Joshua as a child." His mother remains rigid. Mateo speaks Spanish, but he never speaks so clearly, so easily. The gym's director, Dr. Rashid Al-Masri, hears about the incident and arrives. He's a 60-year-old, bearded and a bit grumpy. He tells the security guard, "Stop," and kneels in front of the boy. "Little one, tell me what it says here." Mateo tilts his head. He always does this, thinking. Then begins to speak calmly in Turkish, because he hears Turkish at home too. Yeshua was 6 years old here. In Nazareth he met a boy named Eleazar. Eleazar was sick and couldn't walk well. The other children made fun of him. His tone is so casual it's as if he just bought bread at the market. But what he's describing are lines from the papyrus that no one has yet translated. His mother Elena is pale. Samira, a Coptic expert from Oxford, pulls out her phone and starts recording. Dr. Rashid's glasses fog up. His hand trembles. Mateo continues. Then Joshua told him, "Don't be afraid, I'll walk beside you." Eleazar smiled for the first time that day. There's not a sound in the hall. Even the security guard listens with his mouth agape. That's all there is to it. No over-the-top documentary music, no slow motion. Just a 4-year-old child standing in front of the window, staring at a 1600-year-old piece of paper, reading something no one else can. And what happened next? The papyrus is still in the museum, still untranslated. Mateo and his family returned to Mexico and refused to speak again. Dr. Rashid has retired, occasionally saying, "If that boy comes back, I'll open the door." That's all. The rest is gossip. Elena, without a chair, leans against the wall. His knees are shaking, his eyes wide. Mateo continues, his voice still the same, neither excited nor afraid. He simply tells the story. Tobias was Eleazar's father. Eleazar was only 11 when the Roman soldiers arrived in Nazareth. Joshua had already left, heading for Jerusalem. He left something for Tobias, a small clay tablet. It had the same bird symbol on it. Tobias kept that tablet, and when he got older, he wrote everything down on this papyrus. He began, "No one will believe it, but I saw it." Dr. Rashid was speechless, because at the very bottom of the papyrus there was a tiny section where the ink had almost completely faded. There was indeed a bird-shaped symbol there, noticed months ago, but no one had understood what it was. Mateo points to the faint spot, moving his finger in the air. Here Tobias said, "That boy told me. One day someone will read these writings and remember them. Then I won't be dead either." A chilling silence fell on the room. Dr. Naguib asked in a trembling voice, "Mateo, What else is written at the end of the papyrus?" The boy paused for a moment. He hesitated for the first time, then, very quietly, almost in a whisper, "On the last line, my name is there." Elena's breath caught. Dr. Rashid stumbled back, clutching the table. Matteo looked up at his mother, this time with tears in his eyes. Tobias wrote, "One day a boy with honey eyes will come. His name will be Matteo. Then the story will be complete." No one spoke. Seconds turned into minutes. Then Matteo slowly lifted his eyes from the papyrus and laid his head down on the table as if exhausted. A vast history, along with his small body, remained silent. The footage shot that day still resides in a steel vault at the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities, stamped with unrestricted access. The official explanation: child's play. But the 7 people in that room for the rest of their lives kept repeating the same sentence. The child didn't just read, he was remembering. Matteo's eyes changed at that moment. It was as if a light dimmed within him and his voice grew quieter and heavier. When Tobias entered the cave, Joshua was sitting on his knees. In front of him was a small stone chest. The chest's lid was carved with the same bird symbol. Joshua looked at the chest and wept. Tobias was too afraid to utter a sound. He just watched. Dr. Rashid's pen froze in his hand. Dr. Naguib's laptop lay open on his lap, but he no longer looked at the screen. Matteo continued. Joshua opened the ark. Inside was a piece of cloth, folded and covered with blood stains. Tobias knew immediately. It was a piece of cloth used on the cross. But Joshua kissed the cloth and said, "No one must know about this, for people will misunderstand." Then he folded the cloth back up and placed it in the ark, leaving a small clay tablet on top. On the tablet was a bird with the first letter of Tobias's name drawn on it. The room was silent. Yeshua looked up and looked directly at Tobias. "You are here because you were meant to see it," he said. "One day someone will come and find this ark, but only the pure of heart will find it. Not you, but someone long after you." Matteo paused for a moment, then added in the quietest voice, almost a whisper. Tobias wrote, "That boy told me his name. The name of the one who comes will be Matteo. His eyes will be the color of honey, and I'll be here when he comes." Dr. Rashid's notebook falls from his hands. Elena begins to cry, but she doesn't make a sound, only tears stream from her eyes. Matteo takes one last look at the papyrus, then looks up at Dr. Rashid. He smiles for the first time, a small, tired smile. The chest is still there. No one has touched it, because the heart-shaped rock at the entrance, it slipped and sealed the cave the day Tobias's heart stopped, but now it can be opened. No one moves in the room when the boy falls silent. Dr. Naguib finally asks in a trembling voice, "Matteo, what else is in that chest?" Matteo closes his eyes, as if listening to something far away. "There's a letter from Joshua. It's addressed to me." Then he adds quietly, "She's waiting for me to read it." Nazareth, April 9th, 2019. Early morning. Matteo, clad in a light coat, holds his mother's hand. The air is cool, the branches of the olive trees rustle in the wind. The team is 17 people. Israeli archaeologists, Egyptian experts, 2 professors of the history of religions, and a drone pilot. Everyone is silent, as if speaking would break the spell. Dr. Naguib holds the GPS in his hand, but Matteo doesn't even look at him. The boy walks ahead with small steps, as if he's known this path for years. They pass the main well. Matteo stops, raises his head, and looks up at the sky. Then, 2,400 steps start from here. No one counts. Everyone follows him. At exactly 2,397 steps, Matteo stops. In front of him are 3 old olive trees forming a perfect triangle. A narrow path of white stones winds up the center. At the beginning of the path lies a giant heart-shaped rock, covered in moss. Years of soil and brush have almost completely obscured it. Matteo touches the rock. His fingertips remain steady. "This is it." Yossi, the Israeli team leader, says, his voice hoarse. "This rock weighs at least 5 tons. We can't lift it." Matteo shakes his head. "Tobias, the rock rolled away when the heart stopped, but now it will be opened." The boy places his tiny palm on an invisible spot right in the center of the rock. A second, 2 seconds. The earth trembles slightly, very slightly, but everyone feels it. The rock slowly shifts, as if a hand were pushing it. A dark void appears beneath it. The cave entrance. It's not on any archaeologist's map. Dr. Nagib begins to cry. No one stops him. They enter. A narrow corridor, then a widening room. Scribbled on the walls, bird shapes, Aramaic letters, and in the center a flat stone. Matteo sits in front of the stone. 7 steps away, he said. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. 7. Below the stone is a thin pit. Inside is something wrapped in linen cloth. The cloth is still beige, the blood stains dark brown. Matteo doesn't open the cloth. He just touches it. Elena kneels down and hugs her son. "My love, will you open it?" Matteo shakes his head. "No, I just brought it. It's your job to open it." Yossi puts on his gloves and unrolls the cloth with trembling hands. Inside are 2 things. A very small clay tablet. On it is written a bird and Matteo, in square Aramaic letters. A folded thin leather scroll. On it is a single line like fresh ink. "Matteo, I was still here when you arrived. I can go now. Thank you. Yeshua." Underneath the scroll is a tiny child's handprint. His fingertips seem still warm. No wind blew in Nazareth that day. Not even the olive trees moved. Matteo hugged his mother and spoke softly in Turkish. "Okay, Mommy. Tobias can sleep now." Matteo's voice hadn't trembled this much since he first heard it in the cave. It was as if the words were rising not from his mouth, but from within the room, from the stones, from the air. "I, Yeshua Barosef, write these words in my 30th year, knowing that my time on this earth is short. Those who love me will know me, and those who will kill me will know me. Both will come with the same heart. I write to you not as a father, but as a brother. For I am not a father, but I came from the same land as you. I have experienced the same fear. I have shed the same tears. People wanted a king, a savior, a god. I have become merely a man, and this has angered them greatly. On the day of my crucifixion the sun was darkened, but it was not the sun that was darkened, but the light in the eyes of men. Those who crucified me cried, 'Where is the Son of God?' And I remained silent, for there was no Son of God there. There is only a frightened man, and that man's mother was weeping. In the cave where they buried me, on the 3rd day, on the morning, Mary Magdalene came. She found it empty. For I had already risen, but it was not the grave that I rose from. I rose from my own fear. They told you of miracles. They said, 'I healed the blind. I raised the dead.' I did just this. I helped people believe in themselves. The blind were opened. The dead were given new breath. The rest is history. I didn't want anyone to find this scroll. For whoever finds it must have a purer heart than mine. The eyes of those who find it will be honey-colored, and their name will be Matteo. Matteo, because you are here, I no longer need to hide. I didn't claim divinity. I simply said this: the love within you is greater than all else. I died so you would not forget this. I rose so you would remember. And finally, never crucify me again. Never put me on wood, gold, marble. Never put me in a human heart. I have always been there. The child who reads these words, I have seen you. Don't be afraid. I was afraid, don't be afraid. And tell your mother I saw her too. Thank her for giving birth to me. Yeshua, son of Nazareth, brother of Matteo. Matteo fell silent after the last word. The parchment was no longer in his hand, as if the paper folded itself shut when the words were finished. No one spoke in the room. Only Elena's sobs could be heard. Dr. Al-Masri sank to his old knees, put his head on the table, and for the first time in his life, not as an archaeologist, but as a mere human being, he cried. Matteo walked to his mother, wrapped his little arms around her neck, and whispered in her ear, "We can sleep now, Mother. Yeshua has gone home." That day, the lights in the laboratory in Jerusalem never went out, but science was no longer being done inside. There was only silence at 2,000-year-old Thanksgiving. The moment Matteo's palm touched the rock, all the lamps in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre flickered, for a second. No one spoke, because everyone felt the same thing. The air suddenly felt heavy, as if time had stopped. Matteo closed his eyes, his little lips were moving, but no sound came out. Then, softly, so quiet only his mother could hear him, he said, "Underneath, Mother. Right here. 7 stories down." The Church's Greek Orthodox Patriarch, the Armenian Patriarch, the Catholic observers, they all froze. Because excavations had been going on beneath the Golgotha rock for years, but no one had ever descended below 23 feet. That area had been marked inaccessible. The rock was too hard, the space too narrow. The church authorities wouldn't allow it. Dr. Al-Masri caught the eye of the general from the Israel Antiquities Authority. The general nodded, just once, just once. The excavation continued for 11 days, day and night. The church was closed and tourists weren't allowed in. World television stations pounded on the door with live broadcasts, but no one was allowed in. That night, at a depth of exactly 25 feet, 7 meters 30 centimeters, the pickaxe struck something, a small flat slab of basalt. Atop it was the same bird engraving, and beneath it the Aramaic letters of Matteo's name, Mate. When they lifted the slab, inside, within the purple silk, lay the third and final scroll, still unopened. This time, no one touched it. Matteo rushed forward. He took it with his bare hands. No one stopped him. He slowly unfolded the scroll. The ink was still dark black. The writing was larger than the other two, more rushed, as if it had been written. Matteo began to read. This time his voice trembled, because this time the words were not addressed to him, but to all of humanity. I, Yeshua, write these last words right beneath the rock where my blood flows. I will die here, I know, but the purpose of my death is not what you think. I am not a victim. I have set an example. They will kill me because I have made love greater than fear. They will kill me because I have brought down what they call God into the heart of man. They will crucify me, but the cross will not be my end, but your beginning. The third and final truth is this. I did not die. I became. There is no death. There is only awakening. Do not look for me in tombs, temples, or church towers. Find me when you embrace each other. Find me in the eyes of a child. Find me when you call your enemy brother, because I have always been there. And finally, to Matteo. You are not the last, you are the first. Now it is your turn to carry. Don't kill me again. Make me live. Yeshua son of Nazareth, brother of mankind, April 29th, AD 33 under Golgotha. When Matteo read the last word, the scroll turned to dust in his hands. It truly did, as if his task had been completed. All the candles in the church went out simultaneously. The darkness lasted for a few seconds. Then they lit up again on their own. Matteo turned to his mother. He smiled. For the first time, he truly smiled with all his heart. "Okay, Mom. Now we can go home." That day, April 29th, 2019, inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, no cameras were working, no photos were taken, no sound was recorded. But the 39 people in that room for the rest of their lives kept repeating the same sentence. The boy was right. He didn't just read it, he reminded me. And the world was never the same again. That night in Jerusalem, the air was cold. In the narrow streets of the old city, the wind had been howling through the same stones as it had been for 2,000 years. The crowd gathered in the courtyard of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre held their breath. Spotlights hit the cracks in the rock of Golgotha, and the same image played on screens around the world. A 9-year-old Mexican boy leaning into a narrow tunnel, his helmeted camera trying to find his way with a flickering beam of light. Mateo Hernandez's steps were small but determined. No one had told him to stop. No one could, because in 3 days of negotiations he had uttered only one sentence. "He is calling me." And no one, not the Franciscan priests, not the Armenian Patriarchate, not the Israel Antiquities Authority, had found the courage to deny it. The tunnel was damp inside, smelling of rotten wood and old oil. The boy crawled forward on his knees. The camera sometimes plunged into darkness, sometimes it caught a glimpse of ancient Aramaic letters suddenly appearing on the wall. He paused. His fingers searched the stone for a symbol. He found it. A circle within a cross, the same one Tobias had drawn 3 centuries earlier. He pressed hard. The stone creaked and slid aside. The room was unexpectedly cold. In the center was a square altar carved from the rock floor. On it was a chest made of cedar wood, untouched even by time. Matteo knelt beside the chest. A thin layer of dust had formed on the lid. The boy blew. The dust danced in the air, gleaming like gold in the light. He opened the chest. It contained 2 things, a roll of parchment, dried but still flexible, and a small glass container resembling an olive oil bottle. Inside was a thick, almost black liquid. The lid was sealed with wax. The seal bore the same symbol. Matteo picked up the parchment. The letters were in Aramaic, but the boy read them as if they were his native tongue. When his voice reached the speakers in the churchyard, millions of people heard the same words simultaneously. "I am Yeshua bar Yosef. The day they crucified me, my blood flowed on this rock, not as a sacrifice, as love. I did not come to establish religions or to destroy temples. I came only to remind you the kingdom is within you, not in Jerusalem, not in Rome, not in the sky, in every heartbeat. I left this chest so that one day a child might find it, so that child might understand me. And so that what he understands he might say in his own voice, without being forced by anyone. Now you can go. Stop killing me. I am already alive." When the scroll was finished, no one in the courtyard was silent. Only the wind was there. It had been passing through the same stones for 2,000 years. Matteo took the glass bottle. He broke the seal. The liquid inside was still fluid. He poured a drop into his palm. It had no odor. He put his finger to his lips and touched it. Then he raised his head and looked at the camera. "Okay," he said in Spanish. "Now we can go home." No one slept that night. 3 scrolls, Tobias's and Joshua's last, were displayed side by side in the Israel Museum. The liquid in the glass bottle was analyzed in a laboratory in Rome, another in Oxford, and a third in Tel Aviv. The results were the same: male, Y chromosome, haplogroup J1, dated 33 years ago, fatal blood loss from ankles and feet pierced by nails, carbon-14 test results below 0. No one could say fake. Some said miracle. Some said closure. Some said nothing. They just wept silently. 5 years later, a child in Guadalajara was in a garden looking up at the stars. He was speaking now. Short sentences, but clear enough for everyone to understand. His mother, Elena, sat next to him. "What do you see, Mateo?" The child smiled. His honey-colored eyes pierced the night. "Her," he said. "She's still smiling." And that night in the courtyard of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, directly beneath the rock of Calvary, the cedar chest still stood, empty, for the message was now carried in a child's heart. And this time, no one could silence it.